Hi guys, welcome. As always, get your space set up. You might want to grab a pillow, a couple blocks, and that's it. So today we're starting on our backs. You're gonna make any adjustments you need, as usual. Right, so like little micro movements. You can get into a corpse position with the legs long on the ground, or you can plant the feet hips width distance apart. That's also totally fine. You might want to do a little stretch here. Whatever's going to help you get comfortable in the space, start to land in the space. So we're just coming into the here and now, leaving whatever happened before we got on our mats behind. All right, I made a lot of adjustments. All right, then finding stillness, starting to tune into a little awareness here, noticing the air on your skin, noticing the qualities of the space you're in. So is it hot or cold? Maybe you're feeling a little draft, but whatever it is, make peace with the space. Make an agreement with yourself to move through your practice without letting whatever imperfections are kind of happening bother you. And then taking the awareness to the breath body here, starting to listen to the breath, follow the path of the breath through the body with the mind's eye. So noticing that subtle expansion and contraction that it creates, noticing how it flows in and out. And then we'll deepen the breath. Take one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly. Close the mouth gently and start to draw in breath through the nose, letting it flow like water. Belly is going to fill up. Rib cage is going to flare open, and then the chest is going to rise. And then as you exhale through the nose, let the chest fall, rib cage fall, and then belly fall. Now continue with that Dirga Pranayama. I wanted to read you guys a little quote today that's going to kind of go with the theme of today's practice. This is from a book by Osho. Don't fight with yourself. Be loose. Don't try to make a structure around yourself of character, of morality. Don't discipline yourself too much. Otherwise, your very discipline will become the bondage. Don't create an imprisonment around you. Remain loose, floating, move with the situation, respond to the situation. Don't move with a character jacket around you. Don't move with a fixed attitude. Remain loose like water, not fixed, like ice. Remain moving and flowing. Wherever nature leads you, go. Don't resist. Don't try to impose anything on you, your being. Keep breathing nice and deep. Again, letting it flow into the body like water, just like you said. And perhaps you start to layer on Ujjayi, breathe in that ocean-sounding breath of victory, so contracting the glottis at the back of the throat. And if that's not part of your practice, that's okay. And I readjust here so that you can extend the legs and that the heels will be on the mat. I was having a little trouble. The heels, you want to have the heels on the mat so you can leverage here because you're going to start to slosh, right? You're pointing and flexing the toes at a pretty high speed so that the whole body starts to move on the mat. You're just inviting everything to wake up. It's like, come on. All the fluids of the body start flowing. You might start to feel a little heat in the bottom parts of the legs. We're just bringing a little bit of movement into the body. And then slowly coming to stillness, pausing here, notice any shifts in energy, any shifts in awareness. And then draw the right knee in towards the chest, clasp underneath the knee. Again, little micro movements, any adjustments you need here. Start to make circles with the foot. Oh, I was getting really aggressive. Start to make little circles with the foot in either direction, breathing into the ankle joint to really facilitate a release, and then change direction whenever you are ready. Extend the leg towards the sky like you're trying to put a footprint on the ceiling, and then inhale to point the toes, exhale to flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale to point. And exhale to flex. Bring the foot down beside the left thigh or on top of the left leg, and then twist over to the left. Sorry. Twist over to the left, just letting gravity kind of pull the knee down towards the ground, taking the gaze over the other shoulder, bringing the arms out to a T position or to cactus arms. You can just breathe into it. Let yourself come deeper into the twist with each exhale. And then come back through center, extend both legs, and we'll repeat on the other side. So draw the left leg into the chest now. Start to make circles with the foot, inhaling into the ankle joint. We're cleaning out that joint, and then switch directions. All right, extend the leg, interlace the fingers behind the thigh, point, flex. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. Inhale to point, exhale, flex, and then lower. So bring the foot again beside the right thigh or on top of the right leg and twist over to the right. Again, arms are coming straight out of their sockets here, either making a T shape or cactus arms with the elbows at 90-degree angles. And the gaze is going to come over the opposite shoulder. Deep breaths here. Keep with that Dirga Pranayama, breathing all the way into the bottom of the belly, in and out through the nose. And coming back to that Ujjayi breathing if that's something that you wanted to incorporate into your practice today. Inhale back through center. And then you're going to draw both knees into the chest. Stretch out. And then draw both knees back into the chest. Rocking from side to side. Maybe making some little circles on the ceiling with your knees. I'm getting a little massage all through the back. All right, now tuck the chin, start to roll like a ball. Just rolling on the spine. Don't come onto the neck. And then come up into a comfortable seat. So as usual, this is going to look different for everyone. It's going to look different for you from day to day. So maybe sitting cross-legged, maybe sitting up on blocks, moving back and forth to really ground in through the sits bones. Let the shoulders come down the back, and then you can take a mudra here, or you can bring the hands face down on the thighs or face up on the thighs. Take a couple deep breaths, a couple rounds of breath, and then inhale. Arms are going to sweep up towards the sky. You'll plant the right hand on the mat, and then take both hands back up towards the sky. Plant the left hand. So we're kind of pulsing back and forth here. I like to imagine the arms kind of like seaweed here, so they're just flowing really gracefully back and forth, or as gracefully as you can. I'm not the most graceful person by nature, but I try. So both arms come through center, and then pulse over to the right. Inhale through center, pulse over to the other side. And then keep going. Try to do what your body wants you to do. Stop. I know this is easier said than done, but get out of the thinking mind and into the body. So noticing what needs a little stretch, what needs a little release. Deep breaths. Inhale up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, twist over to the right, bringing the left hand to the outside of the right leg. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Twisting around the axis of that spine. Don't lose length in the spine. Inhale, float through center. Exhale to twist over to the right. Inhale through center. Bright light through the fingertips, and then exhale. Twist. Inhale, raise the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower the hands down to the thighs. And then you're going to make your way into a neutral tabletop eventually. Let's take a moment here to just integrate the effects of that last experience, to notice how your body feels now that you're up and moving. And then come into your neutral table. So stack the wrists underneath the shoulders. Inhale, belly melts towards the ground, cow. Exhale, press into the fingertips, cat. Inhale to cow, belly lowers towards the mat, and then exhale, tuck the tailbone, take the gaze to the belly button for cat. Inhale to cow, open up through the collarbones, and exhale to cat, arching the spine. Inhale to cow, open up the heart. Exhale to cat, really hollowing out through the front body. Inhale to cow. And then at any time during our practice, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do, really. I'm just giving you guidance, but here is a moment where you really can freestyle. So I try to include this in every practice, just a moment where you can move from your neutral table through hip circles, or maybe you want to just come back and forth. Maybe you roll out the neck, or get a movement in the facial muscles by opening and closing the jaw, rolling the eyes around. Maybe you do that, whatever I just did. Maybe you come into child's pose and take a little rest here. No rules here, except for you have to keep breathing, or else you would die. Yeah, this is something I've been doing a lot lately, is flipping the wrist. So bring the fingers to point towards my knees and just gently kind of rocking back and forth, opening up those wrists. Eventually you'll come back to neutral table. Extend one leg, then the other, coming into plank. Nice long spine here. Gaze stays about a foot in front of you. And then as you exhale, come through downward dog. So press into the fingertips to take the weight off the wrists. Keep with that gentle flow, that gentle movement. And then inhale through plank. Exhale to dog. Generous bend in the knees if you need. Inhale to plank. Exhale to dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Again, nice gentle movement. Moving like water. And then you'll start to walk the hands back towards the feet. Come into a ragdoll at the bottom of your mat, letting the head, neck, and arms be heavy here, perhaps swaying from side to side, straightening out one leg and then the other. Maybe you pull on your toes to open them up a little bit. Letting everything just hang, drip, melt down towards the ground. And then you'll inhale to tuck the tailbone, draw yourself all the way up and lift the arms up towards the sky. Take up a little space here. Exhale, elbows come to the side body, hands come into fist, belly comes to the thighs. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract belly to thighs. So we're creating a visual representation of the breath here. Inhaling to expand, to take up space, and then exhaling to contract. One more time. Inhale, roll yourself all the way up. And then let the arms, adjust your leggings. Take the hands together and start to walk towards the front of your mat, coming into Tadasana here. So it's really our first Tadasana of the day. You want to make sure that you're nice and sturdy here. Rocking from side to side to really evenly distribute the weight across the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive, hinging at the waist, taking the crown of the head towards the front of your room, front of your space, wherever you are, and then coming into ragdoll. You'll inhale to flatten the back, exhale to ragdoll. Inhale, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, draw yourself all the way up, and then that same inhale, float the arms up overhead. Exhale, press the heels of the hands towards the sides of the room, and then come into ragdoll. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to ragdoll. Inhale, tuck the tailbone, draw yourself all the way up to standing, and then sweep the arms up overhead. Press the hands together. Draw those hands through heart center, Anjali Mudra. Breathe in and out. In, maybe out through the mouth if you'd like. Sweep the arms up overhead. Again, swan dive to ragdoll. And then plant the hands underneath the shoulders. Step one foot back, then the other. Coming into our plank once more. Nice long spine. And then bending the knees to come through downward dog. Lift the right leg. Bend the knee to peel open the hip. And then draw the knee towards the nose, planting the foot towards the front of the mat. Adjust here. Set up your foundation. And then draw yourself upright to standing. Pivot on that back foot. I'm turning so you can see me. Pivot on that back foot to come into warrior two. So making sure the front knee is tracking between the second and third toes. Extend the arms towards either side of the room. And then find a little movement. I know I look a little bit silly here, but I'm again, we're working with that theme of water, moving like water, moving with whatever life kind of throws at you. So we're reflecting that in our physical practice so we can adopt that off the mat. And then come to stillness. Gaze over the right fingertips, or the front fingertips. And then you're going to pivot on that back foot, face the front of the mat, hop the feet together to hips width distance. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive to ragdoll. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to ragdoll. Inhale, plant the hands, come through plank. And then exhale, bend the knees, send the hips up towards the sky, moon the sky. Inhale, lift the other leg, peel the hip open, and then draw the knee towards the chest, again, squaring the hips off with the front of the mat. Frame the foot with the hands, and then draw yourself up. Sink into the hips here, pivot on that back foot, and lift the arms up so that they're parallel with the ground, coming into warrior. Deep breath, and then again, find a sense of play here, a sense of exploration. I don't know why I look like I'm in pain. I'm not. I was having a great time. You might bring a little movement into the wrists. Oh, circle with the arms. It's really up to you guys. Again, try it. Not to think about it. Don't think about it. Just be about it. Deep breaths. Keeping the length in the spine. Drawing up energy through the soles of the feet from the earth. Then turn towards the front of the mat. Hop back into your mountain pose. And you might want to give yourself a little massage on the thighs because, you might have accrued a little tension there through the past couple of poses. Now stand up in Tadasana. Again with a long spine. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, shoot it back. Land on the ball of that back foot. I did the wrong leg. Oh yeah, okay. So lift the left leg and send it back. I don't want your thighs to get too tired. So send it back. Inhale, lift the upper arms by the ears. Find a little brightness in those fingertips. Sink into the hips. Gaze stays forward. This is a Kripalu style warrior one. Virabhadrasana. Deep breaths. Again, imagine you're drawing energy from the earth through the soles of the feet, and it's kind of flooding the body, brightening everything up. Take the hands to the hips. Hop the feet a little bit closer together. And then again, we're going to start to play. Take the arms to a 45-degree angle from the body and start to tip the weight into the front leg, keeping the hips square with the mat, or as square as possible. Start to lift up off that back leg, bringing the torso and leg parallel with the ground. Arms stay at a 45-degree angle from the body. You're shooting out energy from the crown of the head and that back foot for warrior three. So again, you can come in and out. You might fall, come back in, do whatever. And then come back to your warrior one, or Kripalu style warrior one. Inhale. Exhale. And then bring the hands together. Hop the feet back together. Deep breath here. Notice any shifts in energy between the two sides of the body. And lift the other leg, shoot it back. Inhale, upper arms come by the ears. Ground into this pose again, activating a little bit of earthy energy, brightening through the fingertips, keeping that gaze straight forward. Releasing any tensions that you don't need. So maybe you're holding tension in the feet or the face. Next exhale, bring the hands to the hips. And again, we're going to find that little exploration of warrior 3 here. So shifting the weight into the front leg, bringing the torso and the back leg parallel with the ground. Arms are at a 45-degree angle from the body once more. Again, hip points are kind of trying to stay even with the mat. It might be difficult here. And then lower back to warrior 1. And just a round or two of breath here. And press the hands back together. Anjali Mudra at heart center. Feet back together, feet back to hips with distance. Draw the arms up overhead. Press them together and then draw a line through the center there with your prayer hands. Flat back. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Again, we're going to come into a plank and then exhale to down dog. Inhale to plank, exhale to down dog. Finding a little flow. Inhale to plank, exhale to down dog. Lift the right leg. Again, opening up that hip. Find a little movement here and then bring it towards the chest, lay it across for pigeon pose. So you're going to sink into the hips here, snake that back leg back towards the back wall. I had to adjust here, I think, because my foot was touching the back wall, and that was annoying. So yeah, point those back toes straight back. You don't want to like sickle the foot, so you don't want it to start to curl up. You want the toes to point straight. And then, yeah, you can stick out the tongue, maybe roll the eyes around in the head. That feels really good here for whatever reason. You might shift a little back and forth. Again, any micro movements, any adjustments you need are fine. You might roll through the neck. And yeah, I've propped up my pillow on a hip here. That helps if you're struggling in this pose. Keep breathing into the hip and then decide here whether you want to lower down, whether you want to fold over that bent leg. You always have the option to stay upright here. But yeah, it can feel good to kind of drape the torso over that leg, bring the forehead to the backs of the hands or a block or the mat, and then just start to breathe into the hip. Since, you know, we're sitting all day, most of us are sitting all day, they're in the car, at work. This is really disastrous for the hips. They become so tight, and this is actually where we store a lot of emotion, so and store kind of baggage and trauma from past relationships, so it's important to open them up. Press yourself back up, and then flip the back toes, start to lift up so that you can come into downward dog or a neutral table if you're not feeling your down dog. Lift the other leg. Again, yawn that hip open, peel it open. Maybe make some little circles here with the leg. And then lay it across for pigeon on this side. Again, snake those back toes towards the back wall. Micro movements here. Again, you might work into the facial muscles with sticking the tongue out, or yeah, it looks not good, but it feels good, so that's what matters. Roll the eyes around. That's what I was doing here. And then again, you decide. It's your choice whether you want to find that little moment of surrender, kind of like melting the head, the shoulders, the torso over the bent leg, or you can stay upright, that's okay. And again, maybe your head doesn't really want to come down to the ground, maybe you want to use a block here, that's also okay. And breathing into the hips, trying here to make your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales to really, really facilitate that release here, emotional and physical. Inhale into the very bottom part of the belly and into the hip. And exhale. Inhale, press yourself back up. And then flip those back toes. Come into your down dog if that feels comfortable for you. It's our last down dog of the day, so kind of savor it. Notice what feels good here. And lower back onto the knees, flip onto either hip. You're going to plant the feet out in front of you. The knees bent up towards the sky. Hips are going to be fairly close to the heels here. And then flip the palms, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, and start to roll yourself all the way down. You're kind of firing up the core here, laying everything down onto the ground. Head comes last. Inhale, float the hips up. Fingers are going to reach towards the back wall. Exhale, hips come back down, hands come by the hips. Inhale, float up, reach those fingertips back. So this is kind of like a bridge kriya, moving bridge pose. Inhale, float. Exhale, lower. Then draw the knees into the chest on an inhale. Again, you're going to rock from side to side. Maybe make some circles with the knees on the ceiling. Kind of massaging the lower back here. You'll plant the feet back down. Grab your blocks if your kind of groin and hip area is sensitive. And then you're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees splay out to the sides. Again, you can prop the knees up on the blocks if you're feeling sensitive. You can also change the the space between the pelvis and the heels if it's not feeling comfortable. And then bring one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly, or give yourself a hug. Starting to relax well. And bring everything down so we can get into Shavasana. Deep breaths. And you're going to take the hands to the outsides of the thighs, press them together, and then creep the feet out to match with distance, knock the knees together. You can bring the hands to Anjali Mudra here and press the thumbs to the third eye point, or you can bring the heels of the hands to the cheekbones and cover the eyes up here. It's kind of coming into yourself, coming into your own internal world. I'm going to give you a minute to freestyle again. So we're moving towards Shavasana. You don't have to take Shavasana if you're in a rush or something, but I'd recommend it for sure. But before that, you want to notice if something still is like asking to be stretched, again, out of the thinking mind into the body. Just noticing here if there's any little last stretches or poses that you need. So I took a legs up the wall by propping my sacrum up on a block and then just lifting the soles of the feet up towards the sky. Happy baby here, by grabbing onto the toes with the peace fingers and drawing the knees towards the armpits. Then eventually you will come into Shavasana with the legs long on the ground. Arms are at a 45-degree angle from the body. And you can pause here if you want to take an extended Shavasana. This one's going to be really quick just for the sake of the video. I'd like to read you another quote. Be loose. Remember this word as deeply as possible. Let it penetrate you. Be loose so that in every situation you can flow easily, water-like, as when water is poured into a glass. It takes the shape of the glass. It doesn't resist. It doesn't say, this is not my form. If the water is poured into a jar, into a jug, it takes the shape of that. It has no resistance. It is loose. Remain loose like water. Sometimes you will have to move south and sometimes north. You will have to change directions according to the situation. You will have to flow. But if you know how to flow, it is enough. The ocean is not very far away if you know how to flow. So wiggling the fingers and toes, coming into a full body stretch, and then coming into fetal position on either side of the body, keeping the eyes closed. Resting here for a moment. Probably should have just read that quote here, but oh well. And then pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat again. It's going to look different from day to day. It's going to look different from what you did at the beginning of class. You might sit up on blocks. You might kneel here. Whatever you do, decide where you want to place your hands, whether you want to place the palms face down on the thighs or face up. Maybe you take a mudra. Inhale to draw the shoulders up by the ears, and then exhale to release. Inhale, draw them up. Maybe clench the fists here. Find a little tension in the facial muscles in the body. And then exhale, let it all melt away. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up, squeeze, tighten everything up. And then exhale, let it all go. Bring the hands together. Thumbs come to the lips and the third eye, then back to heart center, bow, hinging at the waist. Thank yourself for coming to the mat today. Peace. Thank you. Love you guys.